Right, I thought I'd make this video because I'm pretty annoyed, and the reason is that I wanted to act like a normal person. Instead of getting free samples from MSI and Intel and stuff like that, I just thought I'm going to actually go and buy this stuff as a normal consumer, because I wanted to feel more that I want to appreciate my own stuff, and I wanted to appreciate the value of how something is so expensive. So you do realise that I have the MAG Z370 by MSI. Now, I didn't bother waiting for them to send me over a motherboard. I went out and purchased this on the sort of like the first day it released, and this was £600. So with delivery, it was about £612. Just for the motherboard. And then I went to go and I've purchased the CPU, which is top of the range 9900K CPU, and I went and checked around. I checked around in America for Amazon.com, also Amazon.co.uk, which it doesn't even exist, or at the time when I was looking at this video. This is the 17th of October, so in 2 days it will be released. And then I also looked at it on Overclockers and Scan, eBuyer and Novatech, and everyone at the time was saying 19th of October, no problems. Then I was looking at the 2080 Ti, see which ones I can purchase, because I only want to go for the top of the range one, because I want to spend the most money that I can possible out of my own money, rather than getting it for free, or like getting it as a review sample to show you guys. I wanted to feel what it was like to be in your shoes, how I used to be in everyone's shoes years ago before I became a reviewer. Now, I'm pretty annoyed is an understatement. Now, I've got the motherboard, so it's cool. That I went to look back on it, it's gone down to £529 on Amazon. I think it's like £529 on Amazon in America. It's also £599 on Overclockers, which they still haven't got it in stock, and Scan is sold out. eBuy haven't got it, that's out of stock, or they haven't got the stock yet. And also so Scan, Overclockers, Novatech and eBuy. I think eBuy might have it, I'm not too sure, but it does have like a specific date. Some, like on Scan, it says it's going to be available on the 8th, and no, it was available on the 8th or something, and then obviously they had a few motherboards and they sold out. It looks like they sold out of this new range of motherboards really quickly. So I was speaking to Overclockers on the phone, and also speaking to Scan, and they said how many samples they kind of had, or what samples they're meant to be getting. Now, I was like, do you know what, I always go to Overclockers. Overclockers is slightly more overpriced than what Scan is, but it depends, it differentiates between all of the actual platforms. So if you go to Novatech, you might be able to get a CPU at a different price, or a Scan, or whatever, they might have a sale going on or whatever. But as this is very new stock, I wanted to be one of the first to be able to purchase something at ridiculous prices, and that's what I did. I didn't bother waiting for people to review this, obviously the 9900K. I already know that's going to be a top CPU. If it's not, then people are going to be wanting their money back. It's as simple as that. So I know that the 8700K, because in this one I've got like the Core i5 8600K, and I use that with video editing and illustration and stuff like that, and it's very, very powerful CPU. It's got 32 gigs of RAM and everything like that. It's all completely water cooled. It's completely different. But when it comes down to like the 8700K, it's the king. It's the king of the CPUs. Now, I'm not unbiased. I'm not biased. I mean, I'm biased when it comes down to all CPUs. I use AMD as well. I've got AMD. I've also got Intel. I use AMD CPUs. I've used them for years. I think AMD was like the first like CPU I used. I'd done overclocking and soldered like the cores and all kinds of stuff. I've done some mad crazy stuff with AMD back then. And then obviously when AMD were using not SLI, they were using, I can't remember what it's called. What's the one where they do both graphics cards together? The SLI is obviously Nvidia. I know I'm clicking my fingers, not going to get the answer from you guys, and I can't remember what it's called. I can't remember to Google it, but anyway, so there's that range. I was using graphics cards like the RX 470, was it 470? 460s and 470s, and I was pairing them together so I could get more bandwidth of graphics, like more like for the gameplay. And at that time, I think Nvidia started coming over, and they done like the 580s. That's when they started just taking over. I think it's like from the 88 actually, 88 GTs and 88 GTX or something like that. It was very old school back then. And then obviously that's when they've been dominating the market. Now another word is really getting on my nerves, obviously the mining. Loads of people just come along and started getting graphics cards and smashing up the community and making it really hard. Because I thought about the community when it comes down to computers, it was all about helping people with trying to get the best performance for the budget. So if you had like £100 and you bought like a CPU that was the same price. How can I put this? If I bought a CPU that's a computer for £100, I would want to get that performance to the next level. So the next level of the CPU, say in the AMD range, you could overclock it a little bit more. It had a little bit of overclocking headroom. You could overclock it to like £150 worth. That's what I thought the community was like, to help you to be able to boost the performance or find out yourself. It's a bit like mix of science, because you're definitely trying to figure out how you can get those stable overclocks, and then obviously share your ideas of how to do it. Every silicone in the CPU is different, like graphics cards and memory, so it's all different. Especially a motherboard needs to have good phases, good chokes, just to be able to overclock, and definitely have high voltage for capacitors and resistors and stuff. It needs good quality stuff, but I think we've gone past all of that now, and we're kind of nearly there with decent like 8-pin connectors to push more voltage. This is why I actually thought we're there. So I bought this motherboard, and I bought the CPU. But now the reason why I'm so annoyed is because the CPU has gone from the 19th of October, from the next day delivery was Saturday, which is more expensive to obviously pay for that as a normal consumer. Because normally I could just sit here and I could wait for that to just like come before anyone else, before even the shops get it, and then obviously don't have to pay for delivery or nothing like that, and I could do the review and it's no problem. I get it in lots of time. But now doing it this way, it's like I feel for you guys, because it takes the mick. You've got a motherboard here, and I'm pretty impatient. Then it says on the date of everywhere that it's going to be the 19th. I think some of them said, oh, it's going to be like a week later. Now it's saying to me from Scan it's going to be 31st of October, and it's still estimated. Still estimated. So first serve, first come, first served, or first serve, first come, whatever. It's that. And that's really annoyed me, because now I've got to wait all that time to be a normal person to still finish off this video. I thought things had changed, but they're not really the bad guy, but it's kind of like they put the 19th. They knew about the 19th. It says from everywhere else, from other media outlets, that it's going to be the 19th. And then if you do next day delivery, you should have the CPU. And I'd done it for like before 12 o'clock or something like that, which is very extortionate of like to get it delivered to me. Now, the difference between Scan and Overclockers is Overclockers, after like about a week, added that you can get £150 worth for free. You can get Call of Duty, Black Ops, and you can get another game, and you can get Adobe package or whatever, all for £150 for free, and then £599 still for your motherboard, and you can still get it on a Friday the 26th of October, but it's still estimated. It's just so annoying. Like, for you guys, it's really annoying. It is really annoying. It's just like everywhere is not got enough motherboards to fulfill everything about like the Z370 or the 390, the CPUs, the graphics cards. It's just all over the place. The MSRP is ridiculous. They're trying to like, it looks like they're trying to scam us. I just feel so frustrated, and I thought I'll never really make a video about this, but I thought I'm going to make this video and post it straight away. I'm just so annoyed about how these companies are treating people. It's ridiculous. It's like, yes, I have money where I'll just go out and I'll buy stuff, but I think it's freaking ridiculous that it has to be so much money. Like, the MSRP on all these graphics cards is ridiculous. It's like they put it up so high, it's very clever marketing. So you buy out all the GTX 1080s, 1080 Ti's, 1070s, 1060s, 1050, 1050 Ti's. So that means that their budgets will go up, and there's no competition really because of the AMD 64 that only runs as like similar to the GTX 1080. And it doesn't even go as high as the 1080 Ti. If it did, it would be more competition. Prices would be lower. Memory prices are skyrocketed. They're still high. They go up, they go down, but they haven't been down for ages. Then we had a shortfall of silicone, or no, NAND flash for SSDs, and then we had before that hard drives because of the tsunami stuff going on, and then we had to wait for hard drives, and the prices went up for Blackquest digital drives, which were the better ones then because they ran at 7,200 RPM speed, and they were cooler, and they just had more storage. It was a different price. Everything is kind of messed up in the computer market. Yes, you can get your old components put together, but what happened to the good old days of being able to get like components and then just being able to have like budget price computer components and then get like better than like a decent graphics card? Say like a say you can go with a 1050 Ti and then get performance of a 1060 Ti, 1060 by just increasing the overclock, and then it made more sense. It was more fun then. I just don't feel it's not as fun as what it used to be. I feel let down by these companies like Nvidia and AMD and Intel. And especially with Intel, all that crap the other day with I can't remember what they're even called. Anyway, like I just feel annoyed about all these companies. Like, the wrong benchmarks went out. It just seems to be all about money. And yeah, well, technically it is about money because you're trying to sell and get to the highest like money that you can get. So just a bit like Apple. Apple do crap products. And they do good products, but it looks like they've gone downhill, and they've gone uphill, and they've gone downhill. It depends on who you're speaking to. But I like all products. I like Apple side, I like Android side, I like Nokia side. I like them all. They're all once winners. It's just like, I don't know. I just can't be bothered to like even go on about this. I don't know. I just feel so stressed about all this stuff and having to wait. So, what's it like? That's the question. What's it like to be normal like you guys and not get it straight from the actual companies? It feels terrible right now. It really does feel terrible.